He is our provider. We will never be lacking in God. Never. It's all a definition of, what do I need? God is faithful. He's faithful to provide us with our needs. I shall not want. Third one, He's our physician. And I had trouble finding a P word for this one. That's why it's kind of a stretch. But it says, He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He restores us. God is a restorer. A couple people that I know of in this congregation that are into restoring things, restoring furniture, or restoring houses, or restoring cars, restoring things from, man, it was a mess. Bought this thing for $5 at a thrift store. But I put the work into it, and I stripped it down to its barest thing, down to the wood, the essential, the beauty of it, and I got rid of everything that was laying on top of it, and I had to use some strong chemicals and some elbow grease to get that stuff off. But now it's down to where it should be, and now I'm going to cover it in beautiful polyurethane and just the right stain so that the grain of the wood comes out and it looks beautiful. And that's what God does with our lives. He finds us at the thrift store. Goes, yeah, that's been here a long time because nobody wants that. Everybody looks at that and goes, oh man, that's not even worth $5. That's way too much work. He loves to restore. We are all fixer-uppers to God. We're all projects in process. But that's what He is. And like a physician restoring life and health to the body, God restores life and health to our soul, to our very nature, to who we are created to be, instead of what we become when all the varnish and extra coats of paint and that ugly green paint that gets put on us over the years of our lives. And He comes in and goes, okay, first thing I got to do is I got to get rid of all that stuff. Some of it's going to hurt. I got to use 20 grit. But it's all for the right purpose. It's all to restore us. And in the context of the shepherd leading the sheep, He says, He makes me to lie down in green pastures. And I got to tell you, I really didn't like that verse very much. And the part of it I didn't like was, He makes us lie down in green pastures. And the song I wrote here, I actually used a different translation that says, He lets me lie down in green pastures. All right, I'm okay with that, because I don't like to be told what to do. And I especially don't like to be told, sit and do nothing. I really don't like that for very long. Now, I do have the tendency, and I'm trying to learn, God's working with me right now on this, trying to learn not to just keep going, go, until I collapse, and then, it takes 2 or 3 days to get restored again. That's not the plan. That's the God-ordained Sabbath rest, this idea of a regular cycle of resting, the daily rest, the weekly rest, all those kinds of things. But I don't like the idea of someone telling me, just go sit down and chill out. Okay, well, can I do something while I'm chilling out? No. But I want to do something. But the Lord, it says, He makes me lie down in green pastures. Now, for those of you who have been to Israel or seen pictures of Israel, it's a desert. There are verdant areas, but you've got to find them. It's different up in the Galilee. There are more green areas, but even there, to find a green pasture where you can settle down, it's tough. When we were down in Jerusalem the one day, some shepherds brought a flock of sheep through, and we were like near the urban areas of kind of in an industrial areas where we were staying in Jerusalem. And here comes the shepherd, and there's this one little, I I wouldn't even call it a yard. There really wasn't any grass there. There were a few shrubs and few things growing there, not much at all, next to the place where we were staying at the ministry of For Zion's Sake. And here comes this flock of sheep, and the shepherd's leading the sheep. I don't know if there were any goats there too, but they're coming through, and they're looking for spots of greenery. And that's why the shepherd needs to lead the sheep to find those areas, because on their own, they'll end up just being in the desert and trying to eat rocks and dirt and shrubbery that's not going to help them. But the good shepherd makes us lie down in green pastures. There's that provision again, but also that just stop. Just stop. Was that as uncomfortable for you as it was for me? I didn't count, but that was probably no more than 10 seconds. And God wants us to be able to stop and rest in the green pastures. To be in that place of fellowship with Him and just stop. Quiet. No voices. No music in the background. No TV in the background. Just stop. And commune with Him. And it's a restoration to the soul. It says, He leads me beside the still waters. Water is precious in Israel. It's part of the issue between the Palestinians and the Jews, and between Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Israel, are the water rights. It's critical in the desert, the water rights. It says, He leads me right beside the still water. Not the rushing, river where a sheep will stick his face in to get something to drink and down the river he goes. Beside the still water. There's that refreshment, but there's that restoration. He's our physician. He restores us. The Lord brings healing from the wounds and hurts from our journey in this world. He is personal. He is our provider. He's our physician. He's also our pathfinder. Look at the second half of verse 3. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Now I find it interesting that it doesn't say, He leads me to the paths of righteousness, or He leads me in the paths to find righteousness. It says, no, He leads me in the paths of righteousness. He's right there walking with me, and He leads me in the place where I can do what is right. That's what righteousness is. It's doing what is right. And He leads me in that. Because the book of Proverbs says twice, which means we need to pay attention to it. There is a way that seems right unto a man, but the way thereof is death. When we come up with our own plans of how it should be or how we can do what is right in this world, we can deceive ourselves into thinking something is right and something is good, and in fact it's not at all. It's very bad for us. Years ago, I used to think LSD was really good for me, and I should take it as often as possible. When I got saved, I recognized through the Lord's revelation, no, actually it's not good for you. And you shouldn't do it at all. And whether it's that extreme or just patterns of life or attitudes, the way we speak to people, the way we relate to people, especially those closest to us. Isn't it interesting that the ones that are closest to us are the ones we take the greatest liberty in not showing grace and love? Oh, they know I love them. That doesn't seem right. It's not the way God works. Why should we be different? So He leads us in the way we should go. For a sheep, in the search for food and home, the sheep would get lost. They didn't have a shepherd to follow. And we, as sheep, will go astray unto our own way if we are not looking to follow our shepherd.